Hello everyone, my name is Devan Lesmana Richardo from the Information Technology Department, Faculty of Engineering and Informatics at Bina Sarana, Informatika University. Today, I'm going to present my English project with two related topics inside the computers and hardware. These topics are very important in information technology because they help us understand how computers function both internally and physically. Understanding the computer system. A computer is an electronic device that processes data and produces useful information. It works by converting input into meaningful output that we can use. Every computer consists of hardware and software components that work together to perform tasks eventually. To understand this process, we can look at the input, process, output, storage cycle. First, input devices such as the keyboard and mouse send data to the computer. Then, the CPU or Central Processing Unit processes data with the help of memory. After the processing is done, the results are displayed by an output device such as monitor or printer. Meanwhile, the data can be saved for later use in storage devices like hard drive or SSDs. Understanding how this entire process works helps us as IT students to work more efficiently and to know how information moves through the computer system. What inside the computer? Let's take a closer look at what inside the computer case. Inside the computer, there are several important components that work together to make it function. The first one is motherboard, which is the main circuit board that connects all components. It acts like the central highway where data travels between every part of the computer. Next, we have the CPU, a central processing unit, often called the brain of the computer, because it performs a calculation and executes instructions. Then, there's the RAM, or random access memory. This is a temporary storage used by the computers to keep data that is currently being processed. It helps the system run faster and smoother. Power supply unit, or PSU, provides electricity to every component inside the computer, ensuring that all parts can operate properly. Finally, the storage device, such as hard drive or SSDs, are used to save data permanently, including files, software, and the operating system. All of these components, the motherboard, CPU, RAM, PSU, and storage, works together as one complete system, allowing the computer to process information and perform tasks efficiently. The brain of computer, CPU. The CPU stands for Central Processing Unit and it is often called the brain of the computer. It performs all the calculations and executes the instructions that allow the system to run, program, and process data. Inside the CPU, there are three main parts that work together. The first is the control unit or CU, which directs the flow of operations. It tells other parts of the computer what to do and when to do it. The second part is arithmetic logic unit or ALU, which handles all mathematical and logical operations such as addition, subtraction, and comparison. The last part is the register, which stores small amount of temporary data that the CPU needs quickly during processing. The CPU also constantly communicates with the memory, input, and output device, making sure the data moves eventually throughout the system. In short, without the CPU, a computer can't think or perform any tasks, because it is the central part that controls every operation inside the machine. Now that we understand the CPU as the brain of the computer, let's move on the physical component that support it, the hardware. What is hardware? Now let's take a look at the physical side of a computer, the hardware. Hardware refers to the physical parts of a computer, everything that we can touch and see. It includes input, output, processing, and storage device, which all works together to perform tasks. For example, input device like a keyboard and mouse allow us to send data or command into the computer. Then output device such as monitors, speaker, and printer display or produce the result of what the computer has processed. The processing device include the CPU and GPU are responsible for performing all the operation and calculation that make the computer run. And finally, the storage device such as hard drives and SSD keep our files, software, and data stored permanently for future use. In short, hardware is the foundation that allows software to function. Without it, the computer would simply not exist. There are four main types of computer hardware, and each type has its own important function that helps computer operate as one system. The first one is an input device. These are used to enter data into the computer. Example include keyboard, mouse, and scanner. They allow users to communicate and give command to the computer. The second is output device. This display or produce the result of the computer processing such as monitors, speakers, and printers. For instance, when you type a document or play a video, the output device shows the final result that the computer processed. Third category is processing device. They are responsible for calculating and managing data inside the system, including the CPU and GPU. CPU handles logic and control, while the GPU focuses on rendering image and graphics. And lastly, we have storage devices. They are used to store data permanently. Examples include the hard drives, SSD, and flash drive. Storage devices keep your files, software, and system data even when the power isn't turned off. Together, these four types, input, output, processing, and storage device, form the complete structure of the computer hardware that allow every digital process to happen. How hardware and inside the computer works together. Now let's see how all the components we discussed work together as one system. Every part of the computer has its own specific function, but all components work together as one system. The CPU plays the main role. It processes data that come from the input device, such as the keyboard and mouse. While the CPU is working, the RAM provides temporary storage for active tasks, allowing data to move quickly and efficiently. Once the process is complete, the data is saved in storage drive like hard drive or SSD for long-term use. Then, the output device such as monitor, speaker, or printer display or produce the final result of that processing. All these components are connected through of the motherboard, which acts as the main circuit that links everything together. Without this connection, the computer won't be able to function properly because each part depends on the other completely everything. Because each part depends on the others to complete every operation. Summary and closing. A computer is a complete system that combines both hardware and internal components to process data and produce useful information. Each part, from the CPU that performs calculation to the memory storage device as input-output device, plays an important role in keeping the computer run efficiently. Understanding this component helps us as information technology students use computers more efficiently, effectively, actively, and even build or maintain them in the future. As the technology continues to improve, hardware is becoming faster, smaller, and more efficient, making modern computers more powerful than ever before. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation about the inside the computers and hardware. I hope this explanation helps everyone to understand more about how computers actually work.